Why is it so hard to find good photography spots in the area where we live? Well, at least I think so. You may agree or not agree, but maybe it's because we see it every day, so we don't recognize what's unique or not in our surroundings. I know that I live in a very beautiful area of Sweden, but I still find it hard to find really good photography spots around my area. At least spots that's not photographed to death. Yesterday I had a free evening and I looked out my window and saw that the light was magical. It was really beautiful and probably it was going to be a very nice sunset as well. So I packed my camera gear and drove a bit to a place I've never been to before. But I knew I wanted some water, I knew I wanted the mountains in the background, and I drove towards a place where I thought I would find a good photo. And I sort of did. It's very calm. A beautiful evening in September. I haven't been to this spot ever before, even though it's just 20 minutes with the car from where I live. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. But I can't seem to find a good subject, really. I have a boat that's far away over there. I don't think I'm gonna be able to photograph it properly. And the mountains in the background is really beautiful as well. Maybe it could be enough of a subject, but I don't mind. It's a wonderful evening and the water is calm and the sunset is coming, so maybe I can get some colors and the mountains and nice to find spots around where I live. Well, I'm doing some experiments here. I'm trying to get angles, I'm trying to get the rocks in the foreground and the smooth water and the sunset in the background. See if it works. Experimenting, that's what you do, right? To see if you can find a subject, find a photo, find something beautiful. And I also try to do long exposures, or fairly long exposures, around 30 seconds I'm at, so I can smooth the water out even more. But the water is pretty still, even without the long exposure. By the way, I'm trying out this backpack. I just bought it, so I will tell you more about that in another video. Subscribe. How about that? Well, my place in the world isn't that ugly. It's pretty beautiful. But now the sun has set and I will go home and put the files, the pictures into my computer so I can see them on the full screen, see if I got any pictures. I also tried some pictures with just handheld, just normal shutter speed, mostly so I can see the difference between the long exposure and the normal handheld shot. Because it's like with art in general, music, with painting and photography, you always learn and you can always experiment and see what's best for each situation. And sometimes you don't know it. Sometimes you just have to try it. All right, back home by my computer, and I've loaded in the pictures, I've put them into Lightroom, and I've gone through them and picked my favorites. I don't think I got a real hero shot this evening. There's a lot of, I should have done that, I should have done this, but that's learning. But I want to show you how I edit one of the pictures, at least a fast edit, because it's not going to be as thorough as I normally do it, but in the ballpark, so to speak. So here's a picture, and it's decent, it's okay. It looks pretty flat, but it's a raw picture. The first thing I want to do is to fix the horizon line because it isn't straight. So let's see what Auto does. Yeah, Auto did a pretty good job. Let's see. I think I want that horizon line at the lower third. So maybe something like this. That is okay. And why don't use Adobe Landscape, because it is a landscape. And also the white balance looks okay, but let's see what happens if we press auto.
pretty pretty weak, pretty meh, but all right, we have a starting point. Now let's see if I do auto white balance. No, I didn't like that. Let's undo it. The first thing I want to do is to go to the sky and see if I can make more contrast in the sky. So I will select the sky by masking it. I will try to raise the dehaze a little bit. Dehaze is a sort of contrast. Just a little bit like that. That is okay. That is okay, I think. Maybe it's a little bit too yellow, but I can fix that later. Let's raise the whites a little bit because I like the clouds and also the contrast a tiny little bit. Something like that, but I guess that auto also raised the vibrance, so I will put that back to 0. What more? Well, we duplicate that mask and invert it. Duplicate and invert. And then I'm gonna intersect that with luminance range. Luminance range, there we have it. And I just want to see if I can get the water. There we have it, but I missed water there, so I add it with a brush. Something like, I have auto mask on, I think. Yes, that's good. Something like that and like that. That's okay. And I want to see if I can put some clarity on the water to make it a little shiny, just a little bit. Negative clarity makes it faded, more like velvet, and it makes more metal with plus clarity, and I just want a little shine in it. And maybe I can lower the blacks of the water just a tiny bit. Maybe also raise the saturation just a tiny bit. That's okay. So we started, here we have them side by side. So we started at the left and now we're at the right. I want to duplicate that mask, so we do that, but instead of the luminance range we had where we just had the water, I just want the rocks. Show overlay so we can see what we're doing. Okay, went too far. And instead of adding with the brush, I will subtract with the brush, so I don't get this water like that. Not the mountains either. I just want the rocks. I'm probably doing a sloppy job here, but you get what I mean. You get what I'm doing. Something like that. And then I want to raise the shadows of the rocks a little bit. And I think they are too blue, so I will go to the white balance and make them more towards the warm yellow side. A little bit like that. That is okay. Can we do anything more? Of course we can, but do we want to make anything more? Well, I want a linear gradient at the top. I want the eyes to be drawn into the middle of the picture where the mountains and the sunset is. So I will draw a linear gradient there and lower the exposure. That's more like it, something like that. Maybe I can raise the exposure overall. No, well, just a tiny bit. Raise the shadows just a tiny bit overall. Something like that. Cool. And I like this. I don't know what it's called in English. I like that, and I want to make it more visible. So, a brush like that. Raise the exposure a tiny bit. Shadows. And the saturation. The shadows wasn't the best thing to do. So get back to that. Is it is a little bit of a difference. Let's see if I can raise the clarity of it. That makes it darker. And maybe then I can raise the shadows. Yes, there we have it. Now I have the difference I wanted. So now we have that thing more visible in the picture. I will make one more mask and I will do the liner gradient once again, but from the bottom. Just lower the exposure just a tiny bit from the bottom so our eyes will be more into the picture. Just a tiny bit. Something like that. Are we going to do something with the colors? Yes. I will make the yellow a little bit more orange, just a tiny little bit. Let's see if we should lower the luminosity of the yellow just a tiny bit also. I will actually, I will lower the luminosity of the blue, I think, and also lower the saturation of the blue just a little bit. That's a pretty cool picture, I think. Anything more? No? This was a fast edit just to show you, and here's before and after. Clearer subject with the rocks and the mountains in the background, and also much stronger colors to pop out, especially if you're gonna place it on social media and stuff. Do you think it's hard to find photo spots in the area where you live? Please tell me in the comments. Please tell me I'm not all alone in this. Anyway, thank you for watching and hope to see you some other time.